I've been trying to shoot this video, and this is like my fourth take because of my dog, who is now asleep. So the last one she knocked over. So anyways, try to make this short. I have noticed that the more takes I do, the shorter the video gets. So I think I'm just tired. As you all probably know by now, I am a frequent migrainer. I've been diagnosed with 3 different types of migraines. I really don't know what kind I have. I've come to that conclusion. One doctor even said, "You could have all of them." I guess I could. I don't know. But anyway, so I've had them since I was 4 years old. And there's a point to this whole video, I promise you. Just let me get to the end. I've had migraines since I was 4. They thought I had a stroke. Yeah, that's how bad my migraines are. They thought I had a stroke when I was 4. They took me up to the hospital, couldn't find anything wrong with me, so they sent me home. Told my mom, said, "I don't know, maybe she had a concussion." And my mom said, "Well, you know, that doesn't explain a lot of the way that she was acting." And my mom said, "Yeah, probably not." Or, I'm sorry, the doctor said, "Yeah, probably not, but we don't know what else it could be." They did a CAT scan on me, did blood work, I mean, the whole 9 yards, couldn't find anything wrong. So they came back and they were like, a concussion is the only thing they could come up with. But my dad has migraines, and so does my grandmother, and some of my aunts and uncles do as well. And they're hereditary, as you all probably already know. So, anyways, I didn't have another one until I was about 7 years old. And I ended up having a really bad one on my 7th birthday. I remember that because it was lucky number 7. And I got up, or I tried to get up, and I crawled. I scooted, more like it, to my dad's arms. And as I was crawling in there, I remember telling my dad, "My arm's broke." And he said, "What?" And I said, "My arm's broke." And he said, "No, sweetie," he said, "I think you're just having a migraine." And he picked me up and he put me in his arms, and as soon as he said migraine, my house went into overdrive. Like, everybody started shutting the curtains, they turned the TVs off, they flipped the lights off, like, I mean, everything, because they already knew, because my dad had them. No, I didn't really have them too much after that. I mean, I did off and on throughout my life, but not like bad. But except for whenever I would get pregnant, I've had 4 children. Each time that I get pregnant, migraines would come back tenfold. They were horrible. Which they said it was because of the hormones, the hormones. And well, after I had my kids, the migraines would always go away. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So, and they always did. They always went away, except for my last one. My last one was my only boy. But I'm not going to solely blame this on him. See, after he was born, and it was before my husband had his vasectomy, I had went and got on, my back had just, went and got on the depot shot, which is a shot you take every 3 months, a birth control shot. While on this shot, I had the worst migraines. Like, they were worse than what it was when I was pregnant. And I've had them like that ever since I was on the depot shot. So I don't know if that like messed up my whole system or what the deal was, but anyways, I've had them ever since then. Or had them that bad ever since then. And they used to be, I'd have them for 4 or 5 hours, they'd come and they'd go, and I'd be like, bye-bye. Well, now they come and they hang around for 2-3 days at a time, and even then, it's like, they're not even done by the time that they're done. Usually, for people that have migraines, like, you already know that there's like a week afterwards to where you're like extremely exhausted, you don't feel the same, nothing seems right, like you're out of sorts for an entire week after the migraine's gone. I had one this last Wednesday, and I didn't wake up until Saturday. They call it a migraine coma. I don't remember anything from those days. I lose track of time. Like, I mean, it's just, it sucks. And like I said, I have kids, which is even worse, because half the time I'm like, they'll ask them if they can go somewhere, and I'm like, you're going to have to wait and see how I feel, because, like, I don't know if I'm going to have a migraine or not, and I hate that. My life should not be centered around my migraines. That's not a way to live. And it sucks. And I've tried every type of pill that they've thrown at me. I've tried herbal supplements. I've tried a hypnotist one time. Yeah, that didn't work. I'm pretty damn desperate. And so it's like, and my migraines are a lot different from a lot of people's. And the reason I say that is because every time I went to the doctor, and I've went to 3 different neurologists, each one of them said that I was in the 1% of, I don't know what that is. I was in the 1% of people who actually do this. I'm going to explain to you exactly what happens when I have a migraine. First, I feel like I'm falling. That's usually the first clue that I'm about to have a migraine, is that I have a feeling of falling. Or a falling? Falling? Oh, anyways, it feels like I'm falling. And then right after that, like, I'll start seeing like the what are they called, auras? Like the squiggly, it's either squiggly lines, or I'll see like a blurred spot in my eye, or little floaties coming around. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I do that, and then sometimes I go blind. Sometimes in one eye, sometimes in both. It depends. It sucks when I'm driving when that happens. Yeah. Anyway, I don't drive by myself anymore. Yeah, I'm 31 years old and scared to drive by myself. What the hell is that? But anyway, so then fall asleep. Anyway, so then after that happens, usually I have about 30 seconds to get my phone and tell somebody, hey, having a migraine. Actually, I don't even say that. My guy and I have a word that I use because it's so easy to type up or to punch in your phone, and I send it to him while he's at work, and all it says is, hey, head. Oh, I just text him head. What? Anyway, so anyway, so yeah, that's my word. I text him head, and I don't mean like, I mean like head. My head's hurting. Anyway, so, but he gets it. And he'll usually get a hold of somebody, send them over there, especially if I have the younger ones. Like, the older kids can watch them, but like if they're not there, then he'll send somebody over with the younger ones, to get them or whatever. And then I also have to, half the time, if he's at work, I have to get somebody to babysit me, because I can't do anything on my own. I can't eat, I can't swallow or anything like that. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me backtrack a little bit back to where I start having the migraines. After I text him, usually within 30 seconds, my body goes numb on the left side, from my head, top of my head, all the way down to my feet. My foot, not my feet, my foot. My mouth goes numb. My throat goes numb. It's difficult for me to swallow. It's difficult for me to breathe. I don't know how else to explain it except for, and which I've had somebody say, oh, you mean like numb, like, you slept on your foot wrong or something and it's just asleep. And I'm going, nope. Nope. Definitely not that kind of numb. The numbness I'm talking about is the type where you go into the dentist and they shoot your mouth full of Novocaine. Yeah, imagine that crap all over. That's what it feels like. That's, in actuality, that's what it feels like. It's Novocaine being shot into you. Oh, it's kind of windy out here. Oklahoma winds. Anyway, so after that happens, usually I start getting extremely nauseated. Usually I end up vomiting. It's no fun. And then after all of that, then comes the pounding. The pounding headache. Yeah, that's like a bitch slap in the face. That's what that is. And I'm not, and I've heard people, like, I've been places before, and I've heard people go, man, I'm getting a migraine. And I'll look at them, And I sit there and I wait for it because I'm going, are they really having a migraine, or are they just saying that because they think a headache's a migraine? And half the time, like, when people say I'm having a migraine, they don't really mean a migraine. They mean they got a freaking headache. Which I really wish that people would have quit overusing the term, because now the term has been overused. People like me who go to work and say I'm getting a migraine, they don't take serious. They're like, oh, slap a few Tylenol down your throat and call it a day. No, it doesn't work that way. This stuff will have you bedridden. So, anyways, I met a girl a few years back. She was in her mid-40s, I believe, and she had the exact same type of migraines I do. And I don't know what mine are called, because I've been told 3 different things. I've been told basilar migraines, I've been told chronic migraines, I've been told hemiplegic migraines. I don't know. Neither does she. She went to a neurologist after neurologist and nothing. She went to migraine doctor after migraine doctor and nothing. Finally, one day, she, for some reason, I don't know why she chose to do this, but she went to a OBGYN and told them that she was having migraines, but that they seemed to be more induced around her menstrual cycle. Which, mine, like, I have mine throughout the month, but around my menstrual cycle, they do get a lot more induced. I'll have them more often. And so what she said actually made sense. So she said that when she went into the doctor kind of looked her over and stuff and said, how long have you been having these? And she had been having them since she was like 13, 14 years old. And he was like, okay, well, we know that they are definitely induced by your menstrual cycle, so here's an option for you. And this was like, they were first starting to do this, so it wasn't all that new, and they didn't really know the outcome. They still don't really know the outcome. Every person is different. Some people it makes it better, some people it makes it worse. They said, we would like to do a hysterectomy on you and see if that helps. And at first she was like, no, because, that's my goods. And then she turned around and she said, you know what? She said, as much as I have migraines, if this will get rid of them, I would do anything. That's the same as me. If somebody told me that they could get, and could almost guarantee me, I wouldn't even take 100%, 90, 80% even would work for me. If they told me they could prove 80% that chopping off my left foot would get rid of my migraines, I'd hand them a freaking pickaxe and tell them to go to town. I don't know why I said pickaxe, but I did. That sounds really painful. Anyway, so she has this hysterectomy, and she has went the last 3 or 4 years, however long it's been, and only had like 2 migraines the entire time. Okay, now this is somebody who had them just as bad as me, was waking up having migraines. Which me, like, I'll have, throughout the month, I'll have between 4 and 8 really bad ones to where, like, I can't get out of bed. And then nearly every day I wake up with a headache, but it's not as bad as some of my worst migraines. I don't know how else to explain that, really. And I've had them for a long time, so I mean it's kind of a daily routine. Like my guy, he's always joking around. He'll walk in there and he's like, "Oh, can you do this?" And I'm like, "No, my head hurts." And he goes, "When's your head not hurting?" Which is true. My head is always hurting. Like it's not a joke. Like my head is seriously always hurting. And I live in Oklahoma too, so I mean the weather is constantly changing, which is another one of my triggers. The weather. I don't know why the weather got changed so much. It's always gonna change. Huh. Anyway, so I was wondering if anybody had migraines like I do, and if they do, have they done anything that actually worked? I don't care what it is. If you have something, I'm not asking for a cure. I'm just asking for a little bit of help. If you have done something that has knocked them down to size, let me know, because I'm at a standstill right now. Like, I don't know what else to do. All I know is that they are literally